Alright, so boom, let's have a real conversation. How are y'all doing? Like, legitimately, how are y'all doing, dog? Because I went to the gym earlier this morning, and for whatever reason, I didn't feel like making breakfast. So I decided to go eat at IHOP. And I had probably about 4 teenagers who was in the booth next to me just talking terribly about life. You talk about young people who have absolutely no goals, no dreams, no plans for the future. I didn't want to have to overhear what they were talking about because I didn't want to eavesdrop. But for whatever reason, they were speaking with a volume past the maximum so I could hear every single word, and I didn't have my Raycons with me. But one way or another, I would love to know, how are y'all doing? Y'all good? Did anybody steal your imagination? Did anybody steal your joy? Did anybody steal your happiness? And what are you currently doing to try to get that back? Because you don't want to be in a situation in which you're not planning or working towards anything. I'd really love to know what in life has people feel as if they are so far down that they are not only incapable of getting themselves out of the pit of darkness, but unwilling to get themselves out of the pit of darkness. I need answers, but before we even get there, let's hear from the word from our sponsor. Pro wrestling fans, Dark Side of the Ring Season 4 is already in full swing, off to a magnificent start, and the momentum is not slowing down. In the early 90s, pro wrestling was filled with nothing but wacky gimmicks, but very few were wackier than Doink the Clown. Nobody could forget his villainous acts in and outside of the ring. Whether it was tripping Big Boss Man with a wire, pouring water on top of Marty Jannetty, poking Tatanka in the eye with a mop, or attacking Crush with a prosthetic arm, Doink the Clown was an absolute menace in the early 90s. Then as the years progressed, Doink would leave the dark side, recruit sidekick Dink. Then Doink and Dink would become household names across pro wrestling, becoming fan favorites, culminating in a magnificent feud with Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon at WrestleMania 10. But sadly, Doink didn't assimilate well into the new generation, and with the Attitude Era on the horizon, he'd become an afterthought. So that begs the question, just what happened to Doink the Clown? Find out on the latest episode of Dark Side of the Ring Season 4, Episode 4, What Happened to Doink the Clown, only on Vice. Shameless plug, I couldn't resist. But nevertheless, I need to know, how are y'all doing? All right, do y'all speak to anybody about your goals and dreams and somebody who could hold you accountable to at least work your way towards it? Because I know right now it's trending on social media, the ultra grind set mentality where you're constantly chasing after her. There are not a lot of people who are able to consistently move in that particular kind of mind space. So I would always implore everybody, just write down what your dream life may be, right? And just shoot for like 20, 30, 40, 50% of that. And if you just so happen to have that mentality to go for 100, then you keep working towards it. But it's just, I don't understand how we've gotten to a point now in society where people just don't want to get better. People just don't want to improve. People just don't want to take steps towards, their future, let alone plan towards the future. Ain't the same, those who fail to plan to fail. Like, how you living and you got absolutely no plan for what the future looks like? Now, granted, tomorrow's not promised. There's no guarantee. You could set out a 15-year plan and something happens in year 6 and all of a sudden everything is thrown out of the doggone window. Have a goal, and the plan could always change, but the goal should remain the same. And you just work towards it. What was that other saying where it's like aim for, shoot for the moon, land on the stars, or something like that? Like, at least attempt towards something. Like, I was so taken aback because I remember when I was a teenager and I would talk about hopes and dreams and things that I wanted to accomplish. And although it was sometimes blindly optimistic, but I was at least willing to do a little bit of the work to go ahead and get there. Even when life got difficult, I didn't necessarily fall completely off of what my goals were. The plan had to change. But to hear 15, 16, 17-year-olds legitimately talking like they got no plan for the future, like everything is what are we doing today, and there's no tomorrow, there's no next week, there's no next month, there's no next year, there's no next decade at all, bro. That shit was disheartening. Before I even had an opportunity to get up and say something to him, my father called me and we got into a little bit of a conversation about something going on with the roof, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about. So here's something that I can tell you guys to do, right? Now, I'm not one to give and kick out all kinds of motivation and stuff, unless you tune into the live streams and things like that. Then of course, I'm one to go and give, not necessarily motivation, but at least a sense of direction for what you can do when you find yourself somewhat in a rut. But write down what your goals are, right? Write down what your dreams are and just shoot for like 20, 30, 40%. Just take every day to just get 1% better. Whatever happened to wanting to improve in life? Wanting to get better physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever the case may be, just 1% better. I'm not telling you gotta become, everybody's gonna become an entrepreneur. You're gonna become a millionaire individual. You could become an athlete. You're gonna make hundreds of millions. I'm not telling you to do all this other stuff, but my God, if you got a hobby, you got something you really enjoy, what can you do on the day-to-day to increase that feeling that you get when you do your hobby or whatever it may be that makes you, look forward to participating in whatever brings you that joy? Like if you really love, let's just say you're like Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos, right? Where he liked to play with those toy trains, right? So Thomas and Friends is your thing. If you only get to enjoy that one day out of the week, what can you do to where you can enjoy Thomas and Friends 4-5 days out of the week to where it doesn't cut into your productivity and whatever else it is that you got to take care of? Because obviously life is not easy. Life is a little bit tough. All right, there's gonna be moments in which you're tested, but my God, how the hell are you gonna build toughness if you're never tested? Like, you shouldn't quit in life. Like, it's crazy to me. You got people, teenage years, you already giving up in life. That's wild to me. Maybe I should make a podcast or something. Maybe I should start up a podcast, like-minded individual, about trying to grow as a human being. Because this is beyond me. I've never seen anything like this on a consistent basis. I get DMs, emails all the time. People asking for direction, asking for motivation, asking how to stay consistent. I live my life not only by the 3 C's of committing to the commitment of consistency. I've also adopted another 3 words. What's the alternative? What's the alternative? What kind of life you want to live? If you don't want to be in the situation you're in, do something to get yourself up out of there. It's not easy. It's not easy. Nothing's ever easy. Nothing worth working towards is easy. But my God, like, it's crazy. Teenagers giving up in life already, that's saddening. All right, that's disheartening. And I don't want to see that. So everybody in the comment section right now, take a moment to talk about whatever it is that you're going through. And hopefully other individuals who may be going through the same situation, y'all can have a dialogue, go back and forth about how you guys can get up out of there. Hell, I'll jump in that son bitch as well and aid you in finding the right direction to move forward. Because there's nothing that's more depressing than seeing individuals who used to be full of life sapped of that very life that they once were so full of. That joint's saddening, man. Let's just be better not only just as individuals, but as a community. Let's lift other people up, dog. Now, ain't nothing wrong with telling jokes and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, we all human, all right? Ain't no reason why people should wake up in the morning dreading and opening their eyes and breathing in oxygen, all right? You shouldn't be waking up every morning wishing that you didn't. Like, there's something that's wrong there. So let's just try to lift each other up. Let it be known in the comment section how you feel about life. How are you really doing in life? What do you think you can improve on? And what steps can you take to get to it, to where it is that you want to go? All right, let's get it. Come on now. You mean to tell me you watched the entire video but you haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button and become a member on Patreon or on YouTube to get access to the Discord. We're waiting for you in the Shadow Realm.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Please! Please!
What are you waiting for, huh? Oh my God.